All right. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to MassChallenge's 2021 Enterprise Technology Track Collider event. We are so thrilled to have you all here with us and to celebrate and get to know the startups that are participating in particular. So without further ado, if you don't mind advancing my slide. Perfect. So this afternoon's agenda. You're going to hear from me very, very briefly, and then we're really very fortunate to be joined today by Cliff Justice, who's got an innovation keynote speech for us today, just to get everything going, get everybody's juices flowing. And then we're going to hear from the startups. So there are a number of them, as you see below in the Startup Showcase breakout rooms. Each of those companies has about 1 minute on the stage with us today. And then once we're done hearing from them, they will all go to a breakout room and you will get to join them and ask questions and engage with them there. So a quick note here is, as you see a company that you may want to follow up with, write them down, because they do all, it goes fast and furiously. So we want to make sure that you keep track of those that you want to connect with. Next slide. So for those of you that are not as familiar with MassChallenge, our mission is very simple, and it's to equip bold entrepreneurs to disrupt the status quo and create meaningful global change. And I do believe after this session, you will see exactly what that means in action. Next slide. What we do. So we are a 4-month accelerator program working with early stage companies. We look to educate them. So we provide opportunities, best practices, run a bit of a diagnostic to help them understand where they are in their path towards value creation. And then we connect them. We connect them with different resources within our network, with our corporate partners like KPMG with us here today, with mentors who can support and guide them, with their future customers. And all of those roles are likely roles that each of you play in our community at large. And then finally, we provide support. So we identify and map them to product business and product development support, scaling support, funding, and tech transfer. Next slide. This track in particular, we're really excited to open this to the public today. This has been a sponsored program by KPMG that's seen tremendous results over the last 3 years. In fact, it started, or excuse me, last year in particular, we saw a number of enterprise technology software companies really take off and enjoy the benefits of having one-on-one mentor support from the likes of a KPMG. So in particular, we're focusing on the early stage companies that are driving the future of enterprise tech and service platforms. So we provide the unique tailored support to these enterprise ready and enterprise serving startups. And again, this is all done because of the amazing work and time that the KPMG team provides through their advisory program. So they really are working one-on-one with these cohorts teams to get them to be enterprise ready. So we've looked across 6 different areas, but again, these are just broad-based areas. The disruption is very real. We've looked at enterprise technology, security, cloud service platforms, data management, and artificial intelligence. So again, broad strokes for what you're about to see. Next slide. And what are the key components of a track? So we get this a lot because a track actually is runs within the context of our larger early stage program. And they are unique in that they provide a dedicated community. So we realize that tracks are particularly effective for startups that have a higher friction or higher barrier to climb, such as a regulated industry or larger corporate clients that have a longer sales process. So again, this being the enterprise technology track, we provide a dedicated community. Again, thanks to the KPMG folks. We provide the curated expertise. So these teams enjoy specific curated curriculum that is delivered to them on a an every Thursday session. And then we have the peer network. So aligning like with like has tremendous benefit. Next slide. And with that, it is my immense pleasure to introduce Cliff Justice. So Cliff is the leader of the Enterprise Innovation for the US at KPMG. And I'll let him introduce himself a little bit because his bio is right on your screen, but he's got a really cool 10-minute session for y'all. So without further ado, please, Cliff.
All right. Thanks, Hope. I appreciate it. So I'm really excited to be here today. The startup world is how I got my start in my career. I actually began by starting a little bit different type of company than most of the companies here. I started an ambulance company back in the early 1990s and ended up selling that company to a larger healthcare organization and worked for them for a while in the corporate world. Ended up leaving a healthcare company, moving to Silicon Valley, and starting a internet company back in the late 90s, early 2000s. And sitting in that world, trying to get a technology company started, there was plenty of money available at the beginning of our journey. But about 6 months in, a year in, we realized that the venture capital was drying up. There was a bubble that burst of the first generation of internet companies and startups. So we really had to find a market really quick because the venture capital wasn't coming as easily as it was before. And we had to raise money, but we had to go and work and find a way to get revenue really quickly. And so we did that, and we actually became more of a consulting firm. We actually became a pretty well-known consulting firm in our domain, in our area, focused on outsourcing and offshore outsourcing. The internet company was more based on matching suppliers and sellers of software development projects. But as luck would have it, our dreams of billion-dollar valuations turned into consulting firm valuations. But we were pretty successful at that. I went on to help start another firm and then ended up at KPMG about 13 years ago. So it's been a great journey at KPMG. I've been involved with starting up practices and firms within KPMG, and now in my role as head of innovation, I'm working with startups to bring innovation into KPMG and advance our pace of innovation faster. And I'll talk a little bit about that towards the end around our strategy of innovation. But I did want to talk about how our clients, how large corporations are incorporating startups into their ecosystem as a way to advance and accelerate innovation. So if we could go to the next slide. This is next slide, please. There we go. So enterprise innovation is increasingly becoming what organizations view as a hedge and a competitive advantage and a way to accelerate the pace of change within an organization by bringing new technologies to bear to solve business problems and disrupt the status quo of the organization. So you're seeing more innovation groups, more internal incubators, corporate incubators, corporate venture capital coming together to drive the business outcomes, execute on the desired strategy. Innovation is important because the pace of change is accelerating, and it's accelerating on a larger base than ever before. So the challenges associated with organic innovation are just being compounded by the innovations that are occurring from the outside, the disruptions that are coming from the startup community. So corporations are looking at a broad range of innovation strategies to drive growth, to drive productivity through technologies like automation, to improve quality, and to reduce the risk, to bend the risk curve as capacity increases. If we go to the next slide, you can see how corporate venture capital is accelerating. So this is a view from 2013 to today, and how the pace of change and how quickly corporate venture capital are incorporating startups into the innovation ecosystem. So clearly accelerated by the pandemic and accelerated by the recovery, corporate venture capital is putting more than ever into startups. And as such, the operating model and the business model is beginning to consider how the startup ecosystem is advancing the strategy of the business. So it's no longer linear growth expected by incremental innovations. Businesses are looking at, on their flanks, the adjacencies to the business, and they're looking at innovation and external outside-in innovation as a mechanism to help transform the business. So if we go to the next slide. We can see that there's many themes, there's many reasons that companies are using innovation, and there's many problems that have to be solved, from new ways of working to digital access, customer experience. But if we were to group these into the big broad categories that we're seeing on the innovation agenda at KPMG, at many of our clients, you see some common themes: data and insights. How do we drive better insights, better prediction, reduce our risk, improve the accuracy of our investments through harnessing the power of data, and then driving better insights into the business. There is a renewed focus on the workforce experience and creating agility and flexibility within the workforce. And big on the innovation agenda is how do we create a new operating model that allows more flexibility in the workforce. Much of this was in play before the pandemic, but the pandemic has accelerated this topic. And then productivity and automation. How do we use technology and innovation to decouple growth from the headcount of the organization? The people just aren't there to grow as fast as companies want and the economy allows. So how do we use technology to really drive productivity and full-on automation, using artificial intelligence and automation technologies to eliminate work altogether? These are huge, huge topics in the enterprise. And if we go to the next slide. This is about business outcomes. So we're looking at how organizations define and measure their success. It's not a single technology. They're trying to solve these big problems. So you hear there's a lot of hype around an individual technology. We've been living through the artificial intelligence hype. So everything that you see is AI. Internet of Things, 5G, blockchain, AR, VR, quantum. There's so many technologies that are being hyped up as the solution to everything. But it's not about the technology, it's about how you combine these technologies to drive the business outcomes. So something that we refer to as combinatorial innovation. So it's not anything new. It's been around for a while. But it's really what you have to think of when you're going from a product mindset to solving big problems in the enterprise. If we go to the next slide, a couple of real classic examples of combinatorial innovation would be basically the internet, the web, the World Wide Web, as well as smartphones, the iPhones. these are a bunch of different technologies that evolved over the years. They became better, faster, cheaper, and the innovation was pulling them together to create a new product, a new capability. And it's many times the combination of technologies to solve a problem, to meet a demand in the market, that is the innovation. And that's what we're seeing companies try to solve. They're not buying artificial intelligence. They're buying the solutions and the products and the capabilities that drive their strategy, that help them enter a new market, to help them retain and improve customer satisfaction. So it's the combination of these technologies that is what I want to focus on today. So if we go to the next slide, you can see these technologies in their piece parts. These are critical technologies to our future. Data management technologies, rapidly improving, advancing. Blockchain technologies. We're seeing blockchain technologies emerge. Of course, it's the underpinning of cryptocurrency, but it is also emerging as a new way to decentralize organizations, banks, to verify and validate transactions that are trusted at scale. Cloud and the access to these cloud technologies through APIs, cybersecurity. These are important, many innovations occurring around cybersecurity. But many of these innovations are combinations of other technologies like artificial intelligence and automation, data and analytics, the hardware, drones, sensors, interfaces that are pulling together capabilities around natural language processing, which is an area that has seen massive advances since 2016. And now with technologies like generative, pre-trained, GPT algorithms, NLP is poised for another exponential increase in performance and capabilities. So you're seeing chatbots that are more realistic and can address more challenges in these other areas. So as enterprise innovation organizations sitting in the largest companies of the world are equipped with these types of technologies, they're working to combine these technologies to solve their problems. The reason the startups are important to this is it is a way to accelerate the pace of innovations in these organizations. There's organic programs that are in place. We have organic programs at KPMG where we're using many of these technologies to solve to define our future path and solve the biggest challenges that we have out there. But we're also leveraging the startup community and investing in startups and bringing startups into the ecosystem to help us accelerate this pace. Many of our clients are doing the same thing. If you move to the next slide, we can talk about how does a typical tech stack look for a connected enterprise, for an enterprise that is bringing the outside in, as well as evolving core technologies and traditional cloud ERP technologies. So if we think of how governance, security, and controls are at the foundation of an enterprise, you can then move up the stack and look at DevOps and cyber. Look at how the cloud ecosystem begins to materialize. And depending on the business model, blockchain may be a part of that cloud infrastructure. You might see different cloud management technologies. You might use technologies like containerization to deliver technologies in a secure way to clients or to different parts of the ecosystem. We move into different types of applications, programs like artificial intelligence, and then finally we get into the customer-facing applications such as chatbots or APIs that expose to the external marketplace. So enterprises are looking at their tech stack in a broader way and in a more open way that brings capabilities from the outside into the organization through different channels. If we go to the next slide. An example would be Workday. This would be some examples of investments that they've made in startups. You can see these examples, Series C, Series D. This is classic corporate venture capital. And then a series of acquisitions of some different startups that go into building out the Workday platform. This is one example, but this is accelerating at an astronomical pace. I think we showed in an earlier slide, the pace of these investments and acquisitions is accelerating. You know, I believe at the second quarter of this year, it totals more than all of 2020 combined. So if we move to the next slide, we can begin to finish up here and talk about how this is specific to KPMG, but how we look at the innovation portfolio. So we look at outside in, and this is our startup ecosystem. This is where we pull companies like you all into our ecosystem and look at how these startups can complement our strategic initiatives and our priorities. How can they fill gaps that our clients are trying to fill that may not be possible just with KPMG? We also look at innovation from the inside, organic innovation, what we would call inside out. That's looking at the best ideas that are coming from all parts of our firm, trying to create 210,000 innovators from our employee and partner base and pull those best ideas in and start to think about what can we build and what can we begin to develop internally that will be the next big thing, that will be the next service, listening to our clients and listening to the market. We use the third component, we use an incubator and accelerator model to nurture these ideas. We follow a lean startup type approach where we really focus on finding the market. We take a product methodology approach to building a product, and we look at finding the market and determining if what we believe our hypothesis is true. We look and validate that through a market test. And if the market is there, we begin to build on it, accelerate it, reach into our startup ecosystem, our alliance partners, our organic innovation, and begin to accelerate and build that out. This goes into building, continuing to evolve our brand of innovation, and I believe you'd see this with most enterprises. The very important part of innovation is attracting the right talent through maintaining a brand that will bring that talent to the table. And then in large enterprises like ours, the network and the connectivity is key. So aligning the different business units together to collaborate and ideate around the biggest problems that the enterprise has to solve, and work together to understand how the different components of innovation, outside in, inside out, what's brewing in the incubator, how they can begin to solve those problems, and then ultimately activate and begin to scale new businesses, new business models as they begin to emerge. So that's how I'd like to kick it off for you guys and give you something to think about around how we see and we experience innovation in large enterprises. And I don't know if we have time, Hope, for any questions, but I'll turn it back over to you.
Great. I think we're going to hold on questions for right now and jump right into the pitches because I am mindful of the time. But if anyone has any burning questions, they can go ahead and put it in the chat, and maybe you can ask in the chat. All right.
Let's see.
So you know what? Cliff, I'll read you the question, and while we're teeing up the first startup. So the question is, you mentioned the pandemic as a driver of innovation and business evolution. Where do you see climate change and the global impact that is anticipated? And certainly given this news.
Yeah, that's a good question. There's an increasing level of awareness and investment around ESG as a whole. So climate being a big part of that. I think we're just, we're seeing the effects right now, and we're starting to see UN global awareness and alerts being issued around the damage that's very real from climate change. I think right now is where we see the need for innovations around climate change. I don't know if you can overstate the global impact that is anticipated from climate change. My personal view is it will dwarf anything that we saw in the pandemic. I don't know how to specifically answer the global impact question, other than this will be the biggest and most important challenge that our generation must solve and work towards solving.
Great, thank you. You're getting a lot of agreed comments in the chat here. All right, so unfortunately, Ansley couldn't be with us today from Atlas Solutions, but they've sent a video in. So we're gonna go ahead and cue the video and get through this first pitch.
My name is Ansley Fender, and I am the founder and CEO of Atlas, the first industry-agnostic grant management software that brings funders and funding recipients together in a single collaborative platform. Grants are the common thread that bring together the nonprofit, public, and private sectors. Every year, trillions of dollars are granted to homeless shelters housing at-risk populations, medtech companies working to cure cancer, and municipalities trying to protect their population from COVID. Grants enable recipients to dream, innovate, and affect change in every community and in every aspect of our lives. But grants are one of the most complicated sources of funding. They're hard to find, require days to prepare and submit an application, and are manually tracked for months or even years in a spreadsheet, which ends up costing as much as 20% of the funding, or hundreds of billions of dollars. Even after all of that work, 30% of grant recipients report not knowing the outcome of their funding. They can tell you how the money was spent, but they can't distinguish the effect of one funding source from the effect of another. Atlas's mission is to stand in the gap between innovation and execution for grant-funded organizations, to help them power their purpose and do even more good.
Great. We're going to go ahead and put Ansley's email in the chat if anybody wants to follow up with them on this side. All right, next up, I believe we have Conversion Coach.
Hello, can you hear me?
We can, Jay, yes.
Great. My name is Jay D'Amato, founder of Conversion Coach. So 80% of salespeople miss their targets by more than 10%. The average tenure of a VP of sales is 17 months, and 99% of venture-backed startups do not reach a Series C funding. So most sales organizations are underperforming because they lack the ability to define, measure, and replicate successful sales behaviors. I'm a longtime sales leader, and I witness this on a daily basis. So we built Conversion Coach to solve this problem. Conversion Coach is a sales acceleration platform that focuses on sales behaviors. It is for companies looking to scale their sales organization with a repeatable sales playbook built off the world's most proven sales behaviors like Sandler and Medic and so forth. How it works is you configure your sales playbook in a matter of minutes. We have over 200 sales behaviors and personality attributes to choose from. Then a sales leader or a sales trainer analyzes behaviors on calls, and assigns grades to each behavior. What you get is the most important data a scaling company can have, which is sales behaviors correlating to higher conversion, lower churn of customers, faster ramp for new hires, higher morale, and lower attrition for your salespeople. Thank you. Very grateful to be here.
Great. Thank you, Jay. All right. We have a little teaser here in the corner, but next up is IQ3 Connect. When you're ready, we'll tee up your slide.
Oh, can I share my screen, or do I just have to present?
We just want you to present, please. This is,
okay.
But we're going to give you just a second. We've got to get to your slide. Sorry that this isn't quite as seamless. In real life, we would do something else. All right,
Yep.
Go right
Thanks.
ahead, Ali.
Thanks. So my name is Ali Merchant. I'm the CEO and co-founder of IQ3 Connect. We have basically a web-based VR platform. The pandemic has disrupted work for millions of people. More people are going to work remotely. More people are going to upskill remotely and train and distance learn. But the solutions today are extremely expensive and complex, and they just don't scale. So with the IQ3 Connect platform, we have a very high performance 3D AR VR platform that is provided in a very light footprint. It's as easy to use as Zoom, and it's highly scalable at a very low cost. So we have a number of Fortune 500 customers that are using it for manufacturing collaboration, for delivering a remote training and remote support. And now we have made it so easy that we have a distance learning and STEM learning and education companies, education that are beginning to adopt this technology. So we are taking this beyond the hype into the real world and real world applications in this world of uncertainty, COVID, and climate change. Thank you.
Thank you, Ali. Next up is the KNWN team.
Hi, everyone. My name is Eric Drysdale. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Known, and we are redefining identity. The existing identity solutions in the market today have all proven to be static, fragmented, full of friction, and vulnerable. This is manual checks, usernames and passwords, two-factor authentication. And now as our physical and digital worlds continue to converge at a rapid pace, it's becoming more difficult than ever for businesses to make accurate real-time trust decisions about who their customers are while maintaining a seamless experience across platforms, channels, devices, online, and in person. Known provides these businesses with a new level of identity validation that enables them to know and protect their customer identity from enrollment through the life of the relationship across any platform and camera-enabled device, through what we call continuously evolving relational identity network that uses biometrics, AI, and unique IoT communication. Our privacy-preserving ecosystem of identity vectors continuously learns and perfects itself on each individual, the environments they go, and the devices they have. This is what enables us to provide passive, what we call multi-dimensional authentication with unmatched speed and accuracy at scale.
Thank you, Eric. And Known, my apologies. Go ahead, Brandon from Look-See. Is it NA or NA? Now I'm concerned.
It's for North America, but we're
North America. Okay.
I am Brandon. I am the founder of Look-See, and we are bringing science to the user experience field. We are starting by focusing on UX consultants and design agencies. If you're in one of these, if you're either a consultant or a design agency, you have a big problem with UX audits. And essentially the problem is the fact that you do them by hand. You do these audits every time you want to acquire a new lead. So it's used primarily in lead generation, as well as serving brand new customers. And it can take anywhere from weeks to months to be able to properly serve a new customer as well as doing the lead generation. So with Look-See, what we're doing is we automate the UX audit process to be able to give actionable insights quickly into what's going on with the UX and help companies move forward quickly with their UX improvements. So that way their teams are moving at the same speed as their development teams instead of lagging behind by months. Thank you. That's where we're at.
Thank you, Brandon. Makina, Karen, you are up.
Yeah, so and by the way, my name is Karen. Wait, okay, there you go. Hi, can you guys hear me? Hello?
We can hear you. Yes.
Okay, great, fantastic. Hi, I'm Karen, founder and CEO of McKenna. When I was a kid, my parents built a house on a lake that was across the street from a cornfield that was sprayed with pesticides every year. And as a result, everyone in my family got super sick. Shopping that prioritizes health and sustainability is super difficult. And many natural products brands get lost on the shelf and online. It's super important that these brands know who their shoppers are, where they're shopping, and what's in their basket. So we built McKenna, a real-time data insights engine in the $252 billion natural products industry that matches healthy and eco-friendly brands with consumers, no matter where they shop, from Amazon to Walmart to Erewhon, and then rewards them with cash, product, and swag for buying better. So we have over 120 brand customers like Tom's of Maine, RX Bar, Pipcorn, and Mikey's, and thousands of products on our app, along with close to 500,000 downloads. And our monthly revenue has been increasing 200% month over month. It looks like we'll be generating about $1 million in revenue this year because we're licensing our data to over 4,000 independent retailers. In short, we have a very sticky product. We sell our platform as a service to brands, and 64% of our users have bought at least 2 products using McKenna. And we've collected about 140,000 receipts from over 32,000 points of sale. We've awarded 87 million points to consumers across the US and Canada. So we'd love for you to join us in helping make McKenna a healthy household name. Thank you.
Thank you, Karen. Next up, Mindful.
Hi, I'm Tina Schweiger, the co-founder and CEO of Mindful APPY. We are a software platform that allows you to collect employee and customer emotions easily and safely. And we do that because we feel that feelings matter. If you can understand how people feel, then hopefully you can prevent things like churn and customer churn and also employee attrition. This software over time will allow you to understand the emotional impact of your business decisions at scale. And the best thing is we give you one number to track called, it's like the Net Promoter Score, but we call it the Net Emotional Index, number between -100 and +100 that can give you a quick sense of how groups of people are feeling, very happy or not very happy. That's all.
Thank you, Tina. And next.
Yeah, hi, I'm Bill Douglas with PAKIRA, filling in for Nadia today, who's in other meetings. The wood industry is highly fragmented and operates on an old school format, lots of phone calls, not a lot of interaction over the internet. Our objective is to connect the supply chain, starting with the forest owners down through the loggers, the mills, the manufacturers, all the way to end distribution. So to that end, we're building a platform that's made up of 2 components. The first is a communications component whereby the various participants in the supply chain can communicate with one another, interact, and learn with one another. And the second piece is a transactional component, which will allow people ultimately to conduct business and trade online. And then finally, we hope to gather from all this data and information regarding the goings on in the industry, which we hope to turn into another product feature and monetize. So initially, we're starting off with very simply with a forum whereby people can come, the participants can come and communicate with one another and gain market knowledge. Ultimately, we're going to have a directory coming slightly behind that will be hundreds of thousands of participants, and there is no current directory. And then moving on over the period of the next year or so, rolling out more and more of this functionality in terms of communication capability and transaction capability. Thank you.
Thank you. Procurement. Oh, nope. Relay Trade Solutions. Delvin, hit it.
Sound good?
I can hear you.
All
Yep.
right. 3 out of 5 American households are Amazon Prime customers because they absolutely changed the expectation for consumer goods delivery. But behind all those goods are the B2B supply chains for bulk raw commodities that make up everything around us on a daily basis. Things like grain or gravel or crude oil or propane. And they have nowhere near the same experience with $10,000 truckloads as you do with a $10 package from Amazon. Manual paperwork, siloed systems that don't sync, and chaotic communication, they all lead to unnecessary overhead costs and payment delays. I'm Delvin Higginson. I lived this problem for more than a decade as a commodities trader, and it's why I founded Relay. There are over 300 million bulk truckloads each year in the US alone, with more than $3 billion just in freight invoicing costs. But with Relay, shippers and carriers can collaborate and streamline workflows to share supply chain events, data, and documents, and save over 50% in back office costs. Unlike our competitors, our low-cost SaaS platform is available to even the smallest of players, and our vision is to grow beyond logistics to expand from trade to paid specifically for commodities. Like me, our advisors have deep industry expertise and connections, and our pipeline's full of relationships in various commodities and modes of transport. But we're starting in one vertical with natural gas liquids trucking to prove the MVP before expanding into other bulk products. Of course, we'll always talk to more potential customers, but we're also searching for tech talent and investors specializing in trade, logistics, and payments. Again, I'm Delvin Higginson. Company is Relay Trade Solutions. You can find me on LinkedIn or email me at delvin@relay.trade to find out more. Thanks.
Thank you, Delvin. Next up, Shipyard.
Hi, guys. My name is Dan, and I am one of the co-founders for Shipyard. Our mission is to help merchants be productive and more successful globally. And our first product is a data hub for e-commerce merchants to visualize and manage all their operational data. So the typical mid-sized e-commerce merchant uses over 20 different apps and platforms to run their business, such as marketing tools like MailChimp or a shopping cart platform such as Shopify. They use third-party logistics such as ShipBob and accounting tools like QuickBooks. However, none of these tools integrate well with each other. And as a result, merchants, they have to manually move their sales data, the product data, the customer data back and forth between the systems. And they don't really have one single place to see all of this data. And so simply put, our platform saves these merchants over 40 hours a week and reduces the number of errors that occur, as well as prevents things from falling through the cracks. Our team is made up of former e-commerce engineers and e-commerce merchants. So we really feel the pain that all our customers are going through. And really excited to tackle this space and this problem. Yeah, if you want to get in touch, you can find me on LinkedIn or email me at dan@shipyard.io. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. Next, SKILLSTRADER.
Hi, thanks everyone. My name is Fadi. I'm the CEO and founder of SKILLSTRADER.com. SKILLSTRADER has set a mission to build the first true vertical for professionals in the skilled trades. There's a major labor shortage around the world in the skilled trades. And by combining, giving tools for professionals in the trade to promote themselves better to industry, by giving them the digital toolbox where they can showcase their workspace. We wanted to be able to give employers an easier way to hire by utilizing our SKILLSTRADER score, which gets assigned to a user based on their training, education, and experience in a specific role. And we give tools for industry leaders to be able to put their training curriculum in front of a very specific audience as technology advances in different trades that you see out there. The pandemic has created an incredible opportunity. Certain verticals have been reshaped, and we have an incredible opportunity here to move people from one vertical and train them, reskill them, and upskill them, and put them in a vertical that's hiring, so that people can make a living. We've built a society where you're only as strong as your neighbor. So if we can help somebody get better, why not? So which is why we built SKILLSTRADER, the first vertical platform for professionals in the trades.
Thank you, Fadi. Next, Sumatra. Go ahead, Greg.
Hey everybody, I'm Greg Coleman. I'm the CEO and co-founder here at Sumatra, and we help financial service providers to manage fraud and credit risk in real time by giving their data science teams better tools for taking advantage of the treasure trove of internal data that they have about their customers. So the financial services space is going through an explosion of innovation where there's a ton of competition around who can offer the best online customer experience. So they're offering things like payday advance and overdraft protection, buy now, pay later. And the key combinatorial innovation that enables these kinds of these things is the combination of big data and AI coming together in the form of real-time machine learning. And so the biggest opportunity is for customers that are either underbanked or completely unbanked, particularly in markets like Mexico and Latin America. And for these customers, there's very little external data available. In Mexico, fewer than 50% of people have credit scores, and it's even lower for women. And so these businesses, to be able to manage risk for these customers, they need to be able to use internal data that they gather through offering low credit or low risk products such as prepaid debit cards and so on. So the two things that are missing for them to be successful are a data platform to transform their data and make it available in real time to make those context aware risk decisions, and the fraud domain expertise needed to build really strong risk signals. So we combine those two things together into a software platform to deliver to their data science teams to make them more successful. So whether you are interested in risk management or just making more of your internal data through real-time machine learning, we'd love to talk to you. Thanks.
Thank you, Greg. Next, the Whisper Company. Alejandro, go ahead.
Awesome, thanks. Has anyone ever looked over your shoulder while you're on your phone? Would you feel comfortable walking away from your unlocked phone? Most people wouldn't, but we would. Hi, my name is Alejandro Fernandez, CEO and co-founder of the Whisper Company. Now more than ever, we do everything on our phones. We run businesses, manage our personal lives, and talk to the people we love, all on our smartphones. But none of those actions are secure. In fact, the 3M study shockingly uncovered visual eavesdroppers could access information 88% of the time they tried. What if your phone knew when someone else was looking at it? With our proprietary technology, your phone will know when someone's looking over your shoulder, when someone's attempting to access your phone when you put it down and walk away, and it'll give you peace of mind that when someone sends you a document, image, or message, that it is that person. We are uniquely poised to solve this problem with our 60+ years of experience in cybersecurity, quantum-resistant encryption, artificial intelligence, and biometrics. Our technology only grants access and use to continuously authenticated users. There are over 3.5 billion smartphones in the world, and our technology should be on all of them. But our beachhead is fintech applications. We successfully completed the NSF I-Corp's national program, and we're awarded an SBIR grant. Our proof of concept application, Invisible Ink, has gotten over 520 downloads with 10 enterprise pilots. And we're talking to fintech companies as well as US government and military to integrate our technology into their apps. We're seeking funding for porting to Android and desktop and customer acquisition and international patent filing. And I look forward to answering any questions and talking in the breakout room.
Great. Thank you for that. Next up, Third Ray.
Thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Abhijit Chaudhary. I'm a co-founder and the CEO at Third Ray Incorporated. A major part of the effort in automating business processes, complying with regulation, or modernizing legacy IT applications goes into extracting business information from documents. This information needs to be extracted from documents into application databases. Enterprises typically have to extract and process information from nearly about 2 million documents per year on an average. Critical business information can be present in any of 30 different document types: Microsoft Office, Google Workspace, PDF, documents, image files, and the information may be printed or even handwritten. Custom applications that companies and businesses may build lack features and flexibility, and generic text extraction systems are difficult to integrate into existing business processes. To solve this problem, we are building Third Ray AI, a document processing automation engine combined with a data management platform for businesses. Third Ray AI is a software platform with custom machine learning algorithms, computer vision, text recognition in AR, VR scenes, natural language processing, and workflow automation. It enables our users to accurately extract handwritten and printed text and images from all of these documents to create a searchable database. Users can then use the low-code interface to configure the engine to search for keywords, create charts, graphs, fill up forms from this extracted content. Essentially, we try to help non-technical users leverage the underlying ML models, and then many of them try to then use this information for analytics, for big data, for converting unstructured text into structured, for data science, and so on. Our users include companies that are automating data security, risk management, supply chain, and logistics processes. Our mission is to help businesses worldwide make their digital documents computable for business applications. I look forward to meeting you in the breakout room. My co-founder Mira is on the call with me. We'll look forward to talking to you there. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And last but not least, XENA Intelligence. Ahil?
Thanks, Hope. Hi, I'm Akhil. I'm the founder of XENA Intelligence. XENA is an AI-powered e-commerce growth strategy partner that uses data intelligence to optimize and automate e-commerce businesses on, right now, Amazon and Walmart. This SaaS platform uses proprietary algorithms to optimize ad campaigns, boost organic rankings, estimate competitor sales, forecast revenue, inventory planning, enhancing product quality, automating the review process, and a bunch of other tasks, which up until now is being done manually. XENA has helped its clients' revenue grow by over 30% month over month and has reduced the ad spend by over 40%. We are also currently in pilot with a large brand based out of the US, Mexico, and Switzerland, and would love to talk to any of you regarding this. Thank you.